You're listening to Haze Radio Network, Cannabis Lifestyle Radio. You know what it's like, and I get up and I'm like, oh my God, what do I got going on today? And I realize, wow, I got a guest. And it gets really exciting when there are so many cool things going on in California. And my buddy who's been at our old radio station gets to return and come on to Haze Radio Network. We got Jeff, the 420 chef. What's up, my brother? How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back. This is so awesome.
Yeah, man.
I love your new studio.
Thank you,
man. It looks
man.
really great.
Yeah, man. We wanted to keep that kind of like, vibe going where we get some good cannabis lifestyle topics and shit. But before we get into everything you've been doing all these years in the cannabis industry, let's talk about slightly what'd you do prior to cannabis?
Prior to cannabis, I was in the underwear industry.
Okay.
I was a fashion executive.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
Okay.
New York City for over 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
The NYC for 30 years.
Yeah.
And then you, having that kind of like, did you smoke much bud though or
Yeah,
nah?
I smoked. I smoked with my friends. It was just like,
Casual.
Sure, casual.
Real casual.
Yeah, not like when I was in high school when I was like, I guess back then you would call us the stoners.
Absolutely. Do you remember what you were even smoking back then? Was there names of weed back then or
there was
wasn't?
one thing I remember, Thai stick.
Oh, man. Yeah.
the
The Thai sticks is what everybody, that and like the, Hawaiian buds.
Yeah. You can't even get that anymore.
Acapulco Gold. You hear those names?
I remember that. Thai stick, you can't even get that.
No.
It's like.
Maybe if you're there as like an old school thing, they must still do it. I can't, but
Last Tommy Chong.
Maybe the bud's better though. You never know, right? And getting that industry, and then you move out to Cali? Like how long ago was that?
Yeah, so I actually started working in cannabis just for a family member who was suffering from an inoperable brain tumor.
Oh wow!
A friend of mine's mom also had ovarian cancer, and I was actually they loved my cookies. There was no cannabis in them, but they wanted to medicate with cannabis. They don't want to smoke. I'm like, well, I'll make you some cookies with the weed, and made them
at
batches.
the time, did you have any idea how much to mix in? Were you worried you were going to get them super fucked up or anything like that? No idea.
Not only that, but they tasted so bad that both of them said, we love your cookies, just ruined your cookie experience for us because we hate the taste of weed. So they challenged me, to take out that taste, and I figured it out. It took me about a year and a half, but I did. That's as soon as that was happening, I was getting more and more into it.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
That process and why you wanted to do it and how did it all develop?
When they told me that they couldn't stomach the taste of cannabis in their food, like they're already medicating, and why do they need to have medication in their food, even if it tasted like burnt terpenes? It's still a different flavor.
Yeah.
So, I really set out to do it so they wouldn't have to taste anything except my cookie, but still be medicated.
Sure.
And I went through a ton of research. I was obsessed with it.
Okay.
Just the plant itself. I dug so deep into the cellular structure of the plant and, to what it was that, was causing the odor and taste and what it was that was basically, was making you high or making you feel the way you were. And I learned everything about trichomes and terpenes and flavonoids and chlorophyll and all that stuff. And, the plant is so complex and all the different cannabinoids that are in it. And
did you feel it was overwhelming once you started researching that shit or no?
No, you know what? It was just so interesting. I kept falling deeper into the hole.
Okay.
You ever do mushrooms?
Of course.
You ever get into that zone where you just keep going and going and going and it's like, holy shit. And then when it's over, you're like, wait, I was just in the coolest place ever. That's really what it was as I was doing this because every day I was coming up with new things. And finally, I realized that I figured out how to take out that odor and taste, from the edibles. And I realized when I had made a batch of oil that didn't taste or smell like anything, and I was like, all right, I'm going to put them into a batch of cupcakes.
Okay.
And I made these cupcakes, and I was
pretty strong, or
no,
what was
I was like, I fucked it up because I didn't taste anything. I was like, it tastes like a cupcake. All of a sudden, 2 hours later, I am in the snack aisle at Duane Reade looking at chips. And like, why the fuck am I here? And what am I supposed to get? And I'm like, holy shit. I figured it out. I did it. That was my eureka moment.
Now, was it when you did it though? At that time, was it too much? Were you real fucked up, or you? No,
so I was pretty. I was pretty fucked up. I was in my sweatpants with my flip flops on and my t-shirt that I sleep in. So it was
my god!
It's literally like I went across the street.
Roll out and do that. That's
I just did
wild.
that. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's great.
So I was just feeling myself. But I figured out, that I did it. And that was pretty cool. And then I started working with that, and everything that has now developed into this. But the next day I called up my friend over at BMF Media. He's a big media company in New York. I'm like, I just figured out how to take out the taste. And he's like, I don't have time for your shit right now, but call my friend Justin at the Daily Beast. Maybe he'll be interested, and bring him a cupcake, So I meet with his friend Justin the next day for brunch, and I bring him a cupcake and have a great conversation just like this. And he says, your story's pretty compelling. Maybe I'd write about it. I said, you know what? Why don't you taste my cupcake first and tell me what you think, and then we'll talk about it. He said, no worries, but if I write an article, I'll let you know how I like the cupcake in the article.
Okay.
I'm like, all right.
Wait.
I'm like, you know what?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it, whatever.
And he tries it.
He tries it. Evidently, 5 days later, the article comes out in the Daily Beast, Meet the Julia Child of Weed.
That's great.
And then from there, chefs were emailing me.
So meaning that he probably ate it, and then after you left, because it takes a while to hit the system, got probably fucked up an hour or two later, right? Because that's usually how edible works.
He said he couldn't eat it till the weekend because he was working.
Oh, but he waited.
He waited.
Then he took it knowing, okay, this shit might hit me.
Yeah.
But let me see how it tastes. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Wow.
But
what kind of cupcake was it? Did you just go with straight vanilla?
No.
Chocolate time?
Actually,
what happened?
There's a picture on my Instagram. It's a fondant cup. It's a cupcake that has a fondant top on it. It's a real. I love gourmet cooking, so I'm making a cupcake.
So was it kind of designed? It was kind of designed.
Yeah, it was a designer cupcake. I made it look really cool and fun.
Pattern top thing, different colors or no?
Sort of like that. It looked like a. To say what it looks like.
Okay, I got you. Either way, though, it had its effect.
It looks like a full blown breast with a nipple.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. All right. Great.
If you look at them, that's exactly what they look like. It's really just really funny.
That's fucking cool. Right?
If you go to my Instagram, you see exactly what I'm talking
about. Tell the folks out there the Instagram so they can check it out.
Oh, it's Jeff the 420 Chef. So anywhere you want to look at Jeff the 420 Chef on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook. But yeah, if you scroll down far enough, you'll see that cupcake.
That's cool. That's really fucking wild. So figured out the thing with the weed, got into that. You actually did your own shorts and podcasts essentially yourself, right? Based around that.
Yeah.
And is that still up for people to check out?
Yeah, so I when I figured out how to do this, I realized that there was. Once I realized I struck something which is pretty crazy, odorless, tasteless cannabis. I'm like, you know what? I need to get this out to the world in a way, and not just keep it to myself, but not give all of it out.
I got you.
So I decided to do a bunch of
tidbits.
videos. Basically, to teach people how to people how to make light tasting canna butter and canna oil.
Okay.
And, part of the process that I learned, so the beginning of the process was really that a lot of the terrible flavor that you're tasting is coming from a lot of things in the cannabis you may not even want in the cannabis.
Sure.
So I figured out you got to clean it first, right?
Okay.
Well, it's really difficult to clean weed because if you know how dense it is, right, you can only wash the outside, you can't get the inside.
Sure.
So you have no clue really what's in there. And I can't even tell you, we found stuff in there like little worms and stuff, that just, as the bud closes up, it's in there, right? Especially if it's grown outdoors. So we put it through this cleaning process. I teach people how to do it. It's basically using distilled water and blanching it.
Okay.
And then, rehydrating it. But when you do that, you do lose a bit of the odor and the flavor, so it's not going to be as danky. But if you're talking about cooking, you don't really want that danky taste in your edibles.
Okay.
At least a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
So, and that danky taste is not the terpenes you're tasting per se, is the burnt off terpenes, because terpenes are really volatile. So at every temperature, another terpene's burning off. And that's that shitty taste you taste in your weed. So you're not, it just is really dank. It's really a lot of terpenes. It's bullshit. It's a lot of burnt terpenes. And burnt terpenes doesn't do anybody any good.
Yeah, it just, once it gets burnt, anything like from a chef's perspective, it starts killing the taste, right?
Unless it's the Maillard reaction, which basically is that beautiful browning on the top.
Yeah, when you want to just have it, the perfect thing. Chef, underwear, you said sales, coming to West Coast. How did the chef part come into play? Were you always dabbling in the cuisine arenas or what?
I've been cooking since I'm 6. I love cooking, love baking. I mean, I'm literally, and that's how I figured out what I meant to be doing in this world. Anthony Robbins once said, if you want to know what your purpose is in life, think about what you do when you're bored.
Yeah.
After the refrigerator, after the sex, after the goofing off, what do you do to make you happy when you're bored?
Sure.
I cook, I bake. That's all I do. I love it, And I smoke weed, right?
Of course.
And I love helping people. So, started out with, helping family members and friends, get through their ordeals. And when that article came out, Meet the Julia Child of Weed, all of a sudden I start getting these calls from chefs, their agents, whatever. They want, how can I teach these chefs how to make a lighter tasting canna butter or canna oil?
Wow.
And I was like, all right, sure, I'll do it. Like, but what I want them to do is teach me just some skills. So teach me,
trade-off.
Yeah, they're not going to pay me. Like, I didn't have to charge them.
Nah, I got you. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, and, and I was teaching them and stuff.
You're pulling the master fucking multitude of different types of chefery then, learning like this, that, and that. Were you like super excited to learn a certain thing over another thing, like when you've been doing it? Or
I was literally.
Was there something that where like a chef taught and you're like, oh, damn, I can't even believe I just learned that. Like,
so many things.
Give me an example.
Do you know how to tell fresh salmon from farm salmon?
No, not a clue.
Okay. So, and sometimes they look very close, similar to each other, even though it's like dye in the farm salmon, etc. Just smell it.
Okay.
A fresh salmon will smell like fish from the sea. It won't have a really fishy odor, whatever. Farm salmon smells musty.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it'll give you metallic taste in your mouth when you eat it, too.
Ooh.
Yeah. You don't realize it. You're like, there's that salmon metallic taste. That's from farm salmon.
Get out of here. Really? Yeah. Wow. What else? Give me something else.
Something else I could tell you that'll probably
Little
blow you
tidbits
away.
Of love. Yeah.
You can make foam out of anything.
So, what do you mean?
So there's something called molecular gastronomy.
Yeah, I've heard about that shit. Yeah. And there are like restaurants that are just dedicated to these crazy, chemically wild. Yeah. Is it all about the foam? Is that what the main thing is?
Well, no, sometimes, it's a nice little, element to put on a plate, but here's the coolest thing.
Okay.
I took the information that I got from the chef that showed me how to make foam out of anything.
Okay.
And I can make a can of foam now.
Nice.
I can make an infused foam that I put on your plate that looks like almost like seagrass, whatever, and it's got weed. It's weed.
How does it taste?
However I want it to taste, because I take out the taste. So remember, when I cook with cannabis, there's no weed taste. I can make it taste like weed if I wanted to, right?
If you wanted, but you said if you made it like looking grassy or this, would you want to give it some kind of flavoring? I could,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and I could also just have it flavored the same way it came. I don't care. It's one of my favorites, forbidden fruit, right? So to make a forbidden fruit foam to taste like forbidden fruit, that's easy to do. And that's what I would do. But if I decided to do a can of foam and I wanted that foam to taste like lavender, I put a little hint of lavender on the plate.
Nice.
But it would all be cannabis foam.
Sure.
I can do that now.
Hell yeah.
So you can do, there's a lot you can do in the world now, with especially when it comes to in the culinary
And then
space.
how many years were you trading off and learning and crafting what you're doing?
I've been a chef for 10 years now.
Okay.
And now I'm friends with a lot of great chefs.
Now, before you did this cannabis infusing, did you do like dinner parties, like events?
Like anybody else.
Kind of stuff?
Like anybody else. I didn't do cannabis parties.
No, but you did regular ones, right?
Yeah.
What was one of the more elaborate dinners you've thrown down?
Thanksgiving in my house is always huge.
Okay.
That's my favorite holiday of the year. And now that I'm a chef, it's even crazier. This Thanksgiving, actually, I'll give you a little teaser about something.
Tell me.
So if you go to my Instagram, you'll see a picture of an amazing turkey. It's got a ton of views on it, right? A lot of likes on it. I infused the stuffing of that turkey with my new culinary cannabis. And what culinary cannabis is cannabis that is 100% cannabis with no additives and no chemicals used. It's a complete culinary process that I use to take cannabis and make it taste like herbs, like oregano, sage, rosemary, etc. And I'm going to show you something in it, right? When we stuffed that turkey, we made an amazing stuffing. First of all, I glazed it with smoked citron, with a glaze on top. And then the inside, I used a Jewish ingredient called farfel, matzah farfel. And I created like this ridiculous like wild mushroom leek matzah farfel stuffing. Wow. And then I decided that as for the herbs, I was going to put in my culinary cannabis. So we did our sacred sage, which is weed that tastes and smells like sage. And our hazy thyme, which tastes exactly like the herb thyme.
And what's the THC content of these?
So
blends?
It's 20 milligrams per teaspoon, which means that it's pretty potent.
But
so quarter
if we take
teaspoon,
it aside from an edible form, though, what is the weed potency?
So the weed potency is 20%, but that doesn't matter when I put it out to you this way.
Sure.
When it comes to ingestion, our bodies go by milligrams.
Oh, of course, yeah.
5 milligrams, 10 milligrams, etc. So if I tell you that a teaspoon is 20 milligrams of THC, then you know that a quarter milligram is 5 milligrams. So then you know that you're dosing your turkey.
Okay,
with
so it
5
has
milligrams.
the taste of thyme in this, but can you smoke it and it has that oregano taste?
You totally can. You can totally smoke it. We haven't. We've actually smoked the oregano. We haven't
Let me
smoked
see
the other
what
ones.
this is. This is curious.
So now this is the oregano. I want you to just take off the top, but take off the, just
Sure.
tell everyone what it really smells like. Take out the plastic top if there's a
I mean, it smells like oregano.
Yeah.
Very strong oregano.
Now pour it into your hand and you'll see that it's weed and it's not oregano. You'll also see there's no oils in it. There's no oregano in it. It's 100% pure cannabis.
Now you're saying that you suggest this to be as if you were cooking as a seasoning.
Exactly. So and you can dose it
and you get a tiny tinge of a high.
No, you get a huge high.
You get a huge high.
I will tell you. So just so you know,
but this oregano doesn't hold back. You get a huge high.
I'll tell you why. Right before we came here,
you tried it.
We had a meeting with an investor who wanted to try my oregano. We had a pizza.
You put a pizza?
We had a pizza party.
Oh,
No.
Okay.
And it lasts for 4 or 5 hours. I'm in a great mood right now.
But let me ask you something. So if you took this, sprinkle a little on the pizza slice, take it down, what does it equate milligram-wise?
It's exact. So here's how it works. It comes pre-packaged. That right now is just a bottle that I call a little spoon. It'd be 5 milligrams per little spoon, right?
Okay, 5 milligrams per little spoon.
So you won't be sprinkling it. If you sprinkle it, it's going to come in little packs. You know how you get the oregano packs?
Sure.
And the same exact thing. You're getting a 2.5 milligram pack.
Oh, so you got it so people know how much to dose themselves. Yeah, for sure.
We're pre-dosing it for you.
Okay, cool.
So it's super simple. Just pop it on your pizza.
So culinary, that's what you mean by oregano. All right, so you bring
here's
the next one.
Next one. Then I'm going to totally blow your mind.
Don't even tell me what it is then. Like, let me smell first. Let's do the smell test.
Do the smell test.
I'm going to keep my eyes closed even. I'm not a chef. Like, is it rosemary or something?
It's rosemary. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. See, look at that.
That was a good one. That was really good. All right. Now here's one more this is my latest invention. I figured this out 3 days ago. You're the first to see it.
All right.
Okay. First public person
But no whatsoever added of that spice in there at all.
Zero.
Completely
additives.
bud.
100% bud.
And went through your tasteless changeover
so this,
with an add-on of oregano or what?
So this went through my process that removes all the odor and taste.
Yes.
Then a blank slate, basically.
Blanky,
and then I invented another way to
add a little flavoroni to it.
A little flavor? Try this and tell me what this is.
All right. I'm going to close my eyes again. Again, I'm not as cumin?
Cinnamon.
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 You know, my nose is a little clogged, but yeah.
Take off the top already.
Yeah, maybe the top.
But it's cinnamon.
Interesting. Let me see. Hold on.
Powdered cinnamon. Don't breathe too hard. It'll go right up your nose.
Yeah, right. This one, I'm going to give a strong critique. Maybe needs a little more work, but
let me see. Can I tell you? Let me just double check this one here. Oh no, it's cinnamon.
Yeah, a little stronger. A little stronger.
You want a little stronger? Okay, we can make it stronger. Yeah. We can totally do it.
If you want cinnamon, you gotta get that real hint. You know.
But here's the real thing.
Tell me.
Do you smell any weed in it?
No, you don't smell weed.
Okay.
Now, have you tried to smoke it though?
Yeah, but we're gonna smoke something with you today. That's
okay.
Close, okay.
Okay.
So this is the next product. Okay?
Rolled.
These are pre-rolled. This is clove and cool mint. I've got over 30 flavors I've worked on. We brought you the two that were most popular.
Okay.
Were you in high school? Did you smoke cloves?
Not really. I wasn't, but
you like mint?
I'll try the mint.
Let's try the mint. Okay.
Let's go for the mint.
This again. There's no additives. It's not. The papers are
Can
not.
We get
flavored.
a lighter in the house.
I have a lighter.
Nice.
Yeah,
all right. Cool.
Yeah, my lighter. Okay, you check this out. It says "Be blunt." You like that?
I love it. Be blunt.
Yeah. All right, check it out. Take a dry pull on this.
Okay.
Okay. The wrap's not flavored. The only thing that has the flavor.
Wow.
Is
the bud.
The bud. And again, no additives, no chemicals.
Now, mint, like you say, what's a good dessert that you would add mint to?
Chocolate.
See, this is what I need a little help with.
Chocolate with mint.
You go
is really
home,
good.
melt a little chocolate.
A little lemon ice cream with
throw
mint.
a little bit of this in there.
Or lemon ices with a little mint on top, you know.
It has the nostrils. It was like wild on the.
It's cold like mint, right?
Yeah.
You smell weed?
Like cold? No.
Take another hit and see how you feel.
It's like very interesting. My tongue is almost like a little at my nostrils from the coolness.
It feels like mint, right?
Yeah, like mint.
It feels like menthol.
I can smell it through my nose.
It's
like menthol.
It's like menthol.
That's wild. That's some crazy shit.
So now, 2, 3 hits, 4 hits, you're like, I'm feeling really good. We take, so what I do is I'll just give you a little kind of like big overview from it. It's similar to when you put a piece of bread in a bag with a banana.
Sure.
And that piece of bread, after a couple hours, will taste like the banana.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
So I've been able to take the plant down to its most base structure.
Sure.
And it's really just a blank canvas for me now.
Sure.
So anything I want to do to it, I can do to it.
Sure.
Right? From a flavor and odor standpoint.
Yeah.
And still keep the potency intact.
Yeah. And
I think that's the most.
And you got to blank it out.
Right. The other thing is, the
blanking out is the key.
Yeah, and you always get a consistent experience with it because I take out all the variables. What are the variables? The variables are the terpenes, and the variables are the chlorophyll and the flavonoids, and obviously the thing I don't take out is the cannabinoid profile, right? So cannabinoids,
so have you
like
tested
THC,
it? Have you tried
yeah.
like tested it first, then blanch
Yes.
it, do your wild product, add the thing, put it back.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So we've had it tested by 3 different labs. We do SC Lab, CW Analytics, and last one was Bell Costa. And they went through phase 3 testing, passed 100% clean.
And I'm noticing that the grinding, did you have to really kind of hone
this is ground a
in
little
on?
different. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
that's a part of it too, right?
Yeah. So each one, if you
Because
notice,
if you throw it on a pizza and it's oregano, it's got to taste good and not like kind of fucked up anyway. Because who's ever really just eaten weed?
Yeah.
Fucking,
it has to look like oregano, right?
It's like a mind fucked.
How does that look? Does it look like oregano?
It has a little oregano.
This is cinnamon powder.
Oh,
so
I see.
this is it's a different consistency.
Oh, really? So you made this be
so that's more of a powder.
I see.
See that? So we're being consistent with. So it's not
look.
just we're making it. We're making it as close to it as possible. So that you're like,
sure.
I know how to use cinnamon, sure. And if he tells me a quarter teaspoon is going to be 5 milligrams, I know how to put a quarter teaspoon into my recipe.
But do you try to stick with a certain percentage, like 20%, so it's easy to figure out the ratio to break it apart into however it is? Or no?
So it's really cool. We can stay within a range and still have the same potency. So our range is 17 to 23%.
Okay. So no matter what gets blended, it averages out, you're fucking good.
Exactly. And and if we get some super strong, great ass kush to work with, let's say we get, Khalifa Kush 38% or whatever it is,
Sure.
then it'll be a bit more potent, but we will know just how potent it is because we have our stuff lab tested.
But let's get to the next thing, the edible lounge.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Before we can get into the lounge part of it, let's talk about the rules then. For you to make this or this, like how do they gauge, when you're allowed to cook and do and make this stuff? Like how do you figure that out?
That's an amazing question. So, and I'll tell you, this is why we're so excited. The name of the lounge is Budberry. It's in West Hollywood. It's located on Santa Monica Boulevard. Between Sweetser and Harper, and our grand opening is going to be April 20th. Just putting that out there. So if you guys want a VIP invite, just DM us on Instagram and we'll hook you up.
For sure.
So the state's not allowing me to do what I do best, which is cater dinner parties and food and, to create cannabis-infused food for our guests.
Sure.
The state says you can't do that.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, well, then what can we do? And they said, well, you can sell infusions and then you can sell non-infused food items to pair with the infusions. I'm like what? Like sell ice cream with a piece of infused chocolate. I'm like, well, that's no fun. That's ridiculous. But so then I said, well, what can we do, knowing that the rule is that you can only have non-infused food there and serve non-infused food. And that's, by the way, that's a problem that Lowell's having. So Lowell can't serve infused food. Andrea, who's a great cannabis chef, can only serve non-infused food with cannabis that's paired with her food. Right, which is one way of doing it.
Oh, that's paired with the food.
Yeah, so there's no edibles.
So you could sell a chocolate bar and say, "Here's the ice cream," and you suggest to crack it in and throw it in there.
Exactly. That's what they're saying. So I said, well, how about if we partner with area restaurants? And there's 5 little restaurants right outside our door. We're next door to Nora. On the other side of Akamai, we have Pura across the street.
Sure.
So we have all these great restaurants, Conservatory on the corner. We have all these great restaurants that we can do deals with and say, okay, we want 2 or 3 items from your menu to be delivered into our spot for our consumer, for our guest. Our menu is going to have the item on there from your spot. So let's say it's lemon chicken by Nora, by Nora, and say, okay, but it pairs well with our Rosemary Jane. Then you can have lemon Rosemary Jane chicken and infuse your chicken because we're going to sell you little packets of rosemary. They're 2.5, 5, or 10 milligrams. You can medicate it yourself, and now you can actually have an infused edible meal that you helped create. So it's more experiential at the same time.
Someone goes there, throws it together. How do they consider, because they know anybody eating an edible is going to be intoxicated essentially, right? So what is the rule about driving and this and how these things, there's got to be a lot of like...
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, it's a great question. So, every lounge will have their rules and guidelines in there. And we will all be heavily promoting ride shares.
Great.
Speaking of ride shares, I have a funny thing to tell you in a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
So ride shares are going to be a big part of what we're doing, and designated drivers. And it's also up to us to make sure that nobody has too much. We as a business will set our own serve limit, but that doesn't mean that you can't take home what you can't finish.
Yeah,
so,
okay, cool.
So we'll have a serve limit, but, we'll also have a limit. Obviously, the cities...
Now, can they buy straight edibles and not even have to go in and do the experience? Is there some form of retail?
We have a dispensary attached. Yeah, we have both a dispensary and a consumption lounge.
And in that dispensary, is it edibles only, or are you allowed weed and other stuff to sell?
So in the dispensary, we're selling everything, but it's a very exclusive product.
Sure.
So it'd be like this type of product that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
So we'll have that in the dispensary, and then we have the lounge area, and then we'll have a VIP area in the backpack. So,
sweet.
Yeah.
That's an exciting project, right?
Amazing.
And were you thrilled when you were approached on it, or how did that all even go down? Or
it's funny. It's been a dream of mine since I started this to have a restaurant like this. And one of the guys from Budberry, the guys there are awesome. 2 young guys. They had this dream, and they're making it come true. And that inspires me more than anything when I see people really going for their dream. They're not a big corporation, And by the way, a couple corporations tried to come to me to talk to me about it. Like they were going to submit me an application. They wanted me on their application, but I was just like, I don't want to be a corporate slave, and I'm just not. That's not what I'm feeling really.
Yeah.
And then John Lacarney, who's the CEO of Budberry, he met me for coffee one day, and told me his and Patrick's vision, and I was like, you know what? Like, I like this. Yeah, sure. I'm in.
Sure.
Let's do this. So I work with them on the application, and they work their asses off to get that license. I'm happy to say that they came in second.
Nice.
Second place out of I think there were like 220 applicants or something in West Hollywood.
Great.
And so we did really well. We got adult use, we got delivery, and we got the consumption lounge, the edibles consumption lounge.
Nice.
So it's really, a very cool thing to be the world's first edibles consumption lounge, where we can actually sell our own edible products like our herbs and spices or syrups and powders. For you to have the experience to create your own edible and really have that, it's almost like the culinary kitchen experience. You're doing it on your own. You feel more comfortable buying it and taking it home and making yourself some pasta with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's kind of cool for sure. Like I said, the cooking aspect of taking it home. Now, let's break into this a little bit more. Using it as a seasoning on pizza, after the pizza is cooked, and tossing a little on as a dressing, it has more of a potency. Let's explain to people that if you do bake it or heat it and it goes above 220, then the actual THC potency degrades, right?
Not necessarily at 220.
Okay, or kind of break that down.
So THC, its degradation point is really at 365.
Okay.
So that's why when you cook with cannabis, you do edibles. I always tell people to max out at 340.
Okay.
Because most home ovens will fluctuate anywhere from 10 to 25 degrees.
Okay.
And if they do in yours is at one of those 25 degrees, and you put it in 350 and it's released 375, you're done, right? So, but if you're at 340 and you're at 365, it's not as, you're like right at the edge.
Yep.
So, but 365 is really the THC degradation point.
And what does cookies bake at usually, or things
350,
like that?
350, but I tell people to go 340 and leave a couple extra.
Okay, yeah. So go a little lower for sure. Brownies, all that type of stuff, same thing, right?
Yeah, and not only that, the internal temperature of the item does not reach that anyway.
Now, what about length of time that it's in there?
What do you mean by length of time?
Okay, so cookies, 10, 15 minutes, right? What if you baked something that takes a lot longer, like a lasagna or something?
I do it all the time.
Hour or two.
I do it all the time.
Does it degrade then because you're cooking it so long?
No, it doesn't. It actually infuses more. So, in other words, I'll make my can of lasagna, for example. Whether I'm using a can of oil in the sauce, which is what I was doing for years, or now I'm using my oregano in the oil.
Okay.
The oregano actually makes it more potent because it's not only is it, did I infuse it into the sauce when I put it into the sauce, but then now it's permeating the entire lasagna.
And you feel that more distribution goes down that way.
100% homogenized. It's amazing.
Interesting.
Yeah, and not only that, but it just becomes more potent because I think more of the cannabinoids that are on the actual cellulose of the plant are separating more out from the plant. So the challenge you have is when you're digesting plant matter with a trichome or food with a trichome on it, that you have to digest that food before you start digesting the trichomes.
Nice.
Hell
yeah.
And I know, but that's why it takes so long, right? If you notice, you haven't tried this yet, but if we had pizza right now and you did this oregano, it takes 20 to 30 minutes to kick in max.
Oh, really?
It's the quickest onset. And I realized why.
And how long, you know what I'm saying, like last? You said a couple hours?
It's at least 4 hours for me right now.
Okay, nice.
At 4 to 6 hours, it's like a really nice high.
All right, hell yeah, dude. That's great.
Yeah.
So any friends, family, anybody you want to give any shout outs to?
Well, of course, my son Jared, who's the president of my company, and he's pretty much the backbone of everything I do. I couldn't do it without him.
Nice.
He's here in the studio now, but he knows the truth behind it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I think the coolest thing here is that he started this working with me doing social media when he was 16.
Sweet. Hell
and he's now just about 25, and he's worked his way up to president of the company. He has a lot of respect in the industry. I don't know of anybody that's more knowledgeable when it comes to regulations and rules and things we have to follow than he is. So shout out to Jared.
Hell yeah.
Pretty awesome. Mike, of course, my kids who always supported me in the most amazing way, and my family, my parents.
Now, are they old? How old are the kids?
My oldest is 30.
Okay, so she definitely dabbles in the edibles, right?
He actually doesn't at all. He's an attorney.
Does he think you're wild then, or what?
No, he's an attorney. He lives in Connecticut. Just got married. He's very straight edge. He always has been. But he's ridiculously supportive. He's like, I love that you're doing this. I just don't want to try it. But
sure.
He's like, yeah.
But I think the thing opens up in West Hollywood, and you get invited, and he's gonna come there hanging out. Yeah. How's he not gonna just be like? It's
a good question because he always said, when they finally legalize, he'll try it. But if he's in LA, and it's legalized, it's like, it's an interesting quandary for him.
And what do you think about that now that it went up to the House of Representatives? You think next year
I think it's a good step.
Shit's going down or what?
It's a great first step. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens after the election. I think that's going to be tabled until then, unless Trump, the way he tries to do anything he can to get votes. If he sees that there's one issue that he's going to get voters, and if he says, "I'll just deschedule cannabis," then we're fucked in a good way and fucked in a bad way.
Yeah, my bet is it's very possible because the polling for people with cannabis exception, medical, it's almost like 80-90% approval or something.
It's 71% on adult use, I heard.
Yeah, and a 71.
I think entrepreneur or something.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what goes down. Website, you said?
So Jeff420chef.
And that's on everybody can find you that way.
Yeah, you get my cookbook there, and I'm signing them for the holidays, which is pretty great. And just signing them.
And the lounge, is there a website you have for it or no?
We have an Instagram. It's called Budberry.
Sweet.
At Budberry. But if you want to follow our progress and when we're going to be opening and about VIP stuff, definitely DM me at Jeff420chef and send us your email and we'll put you on the list. And be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah! Any other cool cannabis events or things that people could catch you at?
I'll be going to MJ BizCon next week.
Nice, which is, and that's going to be. Oh yeah.
That's going to be, I'm hoping to get it out to Emerald Cup, but I don't think we're going to make it. It's literally...
It's almost the same day or right after.
It's like, I'm coming from Vegas and going straight up there. I'm just like, that's a lot.
That's a big drive to go from Vegas to Emerald Cup. That's like almost, 16 hours? I mean, it's a lot of hours.
Yeah, it's a long drive.
Going up north.
Yeah.
But MJ BizCon is the biggest cannabis convention of the year. You have specific people you're going to be hitting up, or
we have a lot of stuff. We have a pretty full schedule up there, and
already booked.
We have investors we're meeting with. We're still raising money. I'm trying to raise money for our new facility to bring this beyond Budberry. So right now this will be available at Budberry, but we really we want to get this out to the rest of the state. We want to bring it out to nationally and ultimately globally through licensing. So we're setting up the footprint within Budberry. Nice. But, we're going to need money to set up a larger space and hit everybody else.
And the name of the brand is Free Leaf.
The name of the brand is Free Leaf.
That's great. Free the leaf and blend it with any other leaf you want, right?
It's free of all contaminants, free of all the compounds responsible for odor and taste, and free to make it anything you want. Kind of like Mana.
100% cannabis, no additives, and no cannabis taste and chemicals. No chemicals.
Yeah.
All
I'm
done
really
with
proud
his
of it.
own proprietary process that he's been working on and testing out. And those who've had the privilege of testing and trying his cuisine have definitely been quite baked and satisfied.
Thank you.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. And then hopefully
Always a lot of fun.
Hopefully we'll do a different episode of some cool recipes and things for people and kind of get more into that. But it was cool to go over the history of what's cracking and, you know, this unbelievable new change in America and in California, opening up the very first consumption lounges. Shout out to Lowell, who all of a sudden, if I read this correctly, changed their name already.
They did. You know, I don't know the whole story behind it. But I'll tell you, you know, as far as Lowell is concerned, you know, if I was going to give shout outs, I give shout outs to the other chefs out there.
Yeah.
Like Andrea Drummer, who's the executive chef, you know, at
shout out.
Lowell, which is now the OG Cannabis Cafe, whatever.
Okay.
And a shout out to Chef Matt. You know, these are OGs. Holden Jagger, Chef Holden Jagger, and
sure.
you know, Chris Sage, who's the herbal chef. All of us are the OGs in the industry.
Nice.
You know, and I feel like, you know, it's because we're doing things like this that allows people at home to feel more confident doing things like this. My mission's always been to, you know, make the cooking with cannabis experience simple and easy for everyone.
Absolutely.
You know, and you know, all of us just sharing what we know and getting out there and presenting it really makes you feel like, wow, you know, we've really gotten to the next level here.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty cool, man. Thank you for all the work you've been doing in the industry. You know, taking a little step ahead in ingesting stuff that you don't know might get you too fucked up or not, but that R&D has got you where you are today. Thank you so much. And all you guys checking out Haze Radio, tune in at hazeradionetwork.com and all the great stuff we got going on. And, you know, download the app Haze Radio on Google and on Android phones and on Apple, or check us out on hazeradionetwork.com, all different talk shows, music, zones we have, live concerts and events that we cover throughout the year. And we will be hanging also at MJ BizCon, and we will be interviewing people at the Wow Organics after party. And Haze Radio is the media sponsor of a very cool event going down. If you get a chance, Jeff, definitely come by and check it out.
I'm excited to see you there. Should be a lot of fun.
Should be a lot of fun for sure. Well, let's go sample and do what we got to do, and we're out. You're listening to Haze Radio Network, Cannabis Lifestyle Radio.